Again, the top of here, single crochet, and again single crochet. And now you're at your V-stitch. This is the V-stitch that we made to start with. What I do is I single crochet, I'll chain one, and I'll single crochet in that same V-stitch. And then again I will single crochet in the next stitch, all the way across to the next V-stitch will be one single crochet in each stitch across to the next V-stitch. Oops, I passed it up. Okay, so here we are at the next V-stitch. Again, I want to single crochet, chain one, single crochet all in the same stitch, and then continue on with just one single crochet in each stitch across to the next V-stitch. Okay, went a little bit too fast. I'm going to take a few stitches out. And here I am at the next V-stitch. Again, I'm going to single crochet, chain one, single crochet, and that same stitch, continue on with my single crochet across to the next V-stitch. More to go. Okay, here I am at the next V-stitch. This is where I will single crochet, chain one, single crochet, single crochet to the end. And again, we will do 3 single crochets in this corner. This is where you began. I like to hold the yarn down and kind of work it in so that way I don't have to go back and sew it in. So I'll just hold the tail down and I'll do my 3 single crochets around it. That was 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to work down the opposite side. And again, just continue to hold your tail down. We're going to start in the space. We're going to single crochet around. And again in this stitch, it's nice and opened for me this time. Single crochet in that. Skip the space. Single crochet into this stitch, around the next stitch, into this stitch, skip the space, single crochet in the next stitch, single crochet into the space, and I am still holding down my tail. I will single crochet into this next stitch, skip the space, single crochet into the next stitch, again around the space, into the next stitch, and I will cut my tail here. Skip this space, and I will single crochet into the next stitch, into the next space, single crochet into this stitch, single crochet, again skip the space and go into the next stitch, around the space, into the next stitch. Since there's kind of a big gap here, I'm going to go ahead and single crochet into there, into the stitch, single crochet into the space, and you're at the end of your row where you first started, and you only started with the single crochet, and to make it a corner we need to end with 2 single crochets into the same beginning space we did it in. There's 2, and then you want to slip stitch to the first worked stitch, single crochet stitch. So you go into there, pull the yarn, you wrap the yarn, pull it through, and then pull it through, and then the second loop. And you're done with your edging. This is where you want to cut it off. Whoops. You grab the yarn, pull it through, pull it all the way out, pull it tight. You don't want to pull this too tight or too hard because the cotton will tear. So then you want to go ahead and sew this piece in to your material or to your garment. And this is what it looks like after you've put the edging on it. So you can see where it's pretty wavy. I think it looks cute like that. Now we are going to do the armholes. You don't have to put sleeves on them. You can leave it like this. But I may put 1 or 2 rows of this lacy double crochet just so that it can match. I will do 1 armhole, and I will go ahead and quit there just because you can do this on the opposite side and just repeat this armhole. It's the same thing. So from here we want to go to our armhole, and here's those 6 chains down here. It don't matter which one you go into. I just always try to go right to the center, and this is where I'll start with the armhole shaping, with the sleeve, I'm sorry. Okay, so I will get my same yarn. I'm gonna make my loop. I will stick it on the hook. Of course, pull it tight, and then just pull it through. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm just going to single crochet just to kind of secure it in there. And then from here I'm going to do my V stitches around. So I will chain 5. I'm going to chain 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And instead of going into the same stitch that I started at, I'm going to go into the top of this next stitch, and I'm going to double crochet. There's my double crochet. And then from here, I'm just going to leave my tail out. I'm going to sew that in later, so I'm just going to put it behind. And then all around, I'm going to do my V-stitch. So I'm going to skip this next stitch here, and I'm going to try to do it evenly on both sides. So just try to remember how you do it on this side. But I'm going to skip this first stitch here, and I'm going to go into the top of this stitch here. I'm going to do double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And then I will skip this big stitch here, and I'm going to kind of go into the edge of this whole area here. So stick it into this area and do your V-stitch. There's 1 double crochet, chain 1, into the same stitch, your second double crochet. Okay, now we're on the edge of the top of the sleeve, so it makes it a little bit easier, as you can see the end stitches easier. I'm going to skip this next stitch, and I'm going to V-stitch into this one. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip the next stitch, V-stitch in the next. Again, skip the next stitch, V-stitch in the next stitch. Again, I'm going to skip the next stitch, V-stitch into the next. Skip the next, V-stitch into the next. Skip the next, V-stitch into the next. Skip, V-stitch into the next. Skip, V-stitch into the next.